Hi guys, it's William from AllTechTrail again. Today I'm going to show you the Radeon R9 280X Gaming Edition from MSI. It is also their Battlefield 4 limited edition pack. So which means that with every 280X you get a Battlefield 4 code included. Which means that since I have three, I'm going to have three codes. You may know that I'm not a Battlefield 4 fan, but this could be a good reason for me to play it again. As far as the other two codes, I might give it away in the near future through the channel or other means. But let's have a look at inside the box here. I'm already using these two cards for mining 24/7, well, running 24/7 in fact, and with the twin Frozer fan design, it's very quiet. It's very much livable. You can have a rig running three cards next to you without any issues at all. Now this is inside the box, all black, very cool. I like their design. Their dragon logo is so cool. So this is basically all the cables. You got a CD as always, which you don't use. I hope you don't use it. Quick user guide, again, not really much of a read. The hybrid BIOS, I'm not sure why they call it that, because essentially it's basically standard boost and uber boost. I mean, that's how AMD sort of labels it from the very start, but MSI likes to put their own design in, which makes sense. But so this is the codes here. Where's my other two codes? All right, so there it is. I will give this away. I'm not gonna use three codes at the same time. Okay, you've got the crossfire. Since 280X is still, using using the previous generation design, it still uses crossfire cable or connector here if you want to use more than one card. But since I'm going to mine through it, I'm not going to use this. Now you have a 6-pin to 8-pin power adapter here, which is again very cool if you don't have that many cables through your power supply. But VJ to DVI, and then what is this? Twin Molex to 6-pin, and this is a DisplayPort to mini DisplayPort adapter if you need it. But again, it comes with everything that you need. If you don't have any, enough power cables through your power supply or anything else, So this is the card. Let's this out of the box here. So it's very secure, high-tech foam. So you can ship it without any issues or any concerns. Let's get this out of the box. So looking at the front of the card, guys, you can see that we have the twin Frozer fans that MSI has been famous for a long time. Especially, it's a special tune fans that is very quiet. It can stand the torture test without any issues at all. You can see that there is the black and red logo that the gaming edition is very known for these days. What I'm gonna do now is just measure the length of the card for you that interested about this card. It's about 17 centimeters in length, and that's just to be generous. Okay, it's about 2 millimeters over. We have left to spare, but you can plan that if you want to get this card around your case, or if you're looking at another case, whatever. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is just maybe peel this plastic off, so at least I don't have to do that later on. But anyway, okay, so nice and shiny here. It's not going to come off, whatever heat that you put in. The two other cards that I have is running at 80-degree heat without any issues, and the fans, believe it or not, are still very quiet. So having a look at the top of the card, guys, there is the pins for the AMD Crossfire, whether you're running dual Crossfire or triple Crossfire. Next to it is the BIOS switch. There's two switches here that you can play around with, whether it is the standard boost or the overclock boost. Now you do have to switch off your system, not just the application, but actually turn off your computer before you can actually switch this to the other side. Either way, it doesn't really matter, but you can't just close your application or your game in the middle of the game. If you think that, I need more boost, or I want to tone the boost down, you can't just switch back and forth in the middle of playing a game. You need to shut down your computer, flick it over to the other side or whichever side you want, and then turn it back on. So on the top of the card here, moving on to the right hand side, you can see here the big thick long pipe. I think that's a 10mm design, but or in width, but it's a very, very smooth, very well engineered pipe. And on the other side here, we do have the pins for the power cables. It is sitting flush on top of the PCB, which I love. It's not recessed like some of the MSI cards. They're sitting like maybe 2-3 millimeters below the PCB, which means that you do have to use a plier or some sort to take the cables out again. I mean, if you're testing with the card back and forth, it's a bit of pain in the ass if you have to get over down there, yank it out, and then it's just it's crazy. Each time I have to do it, it feels like I was about to break the PCB. But sitting flush, easy peasy. So having a look on the other side here, you can see the heat pipes or the radiator or the start of the radiator moving down. Again, there's a lot of fins that can help dissipate the heat. Again, it helps with heat control, managing the fan noise and so on and so forth, which is again, longevity and playing games and having the rig close to you, that will help. And we do have a cable here, which is for the fan. Running across, which I don't really mind, but I mean, looking at the top, you can't really tell that this cable, because it is black. It's not, and it blends well with the black PCB. So looking at on the bottom of the card here, you do have 4 pipes. I think they're 8 millimeters, but they're going into the central location, which is on top of the chip. And that helps dissipate the heat throughout the radiator, so these fans can blow cold air into the radiator and reduce the heat. So that's all there is to it. But looking at the video outputs here, we do have 4. You can run 4 monitors on the one card alone. Mind you, I wouldn't run it on anything above 1080. 1080 would be the minimum, and it doesn't have any issues running 3 1080s or 4 1080s. It can run it very, very comfortably. Now we do have the dual link here on the left hand side. We do have the 1.2 HDMI that can run 3D and 2 dual ports. Now, before we wrap this thing up, like I said before, there is this option of using the DisplayPort to mini DisplayPort. The adapter comes with the card, but what I do want to show you is, if you want to use this, you just have to be mindful that you do have the space, because it will stick out of your case on the back of the case by a good margin, because it is if you want to get an idea of how much it will stick out, that's how much space that you will need. Okay, at least 15 centimeters clear. but hopefully you will have that space anyway, just because these cards will blow out heat to the rear very, very comfortably, and without any force, as opposed to the blower design that will do that anyway. But look, anyway, I'm very, very excited of this card because what I do have is this is basically a card that can compete, or has been known to compete with the GTX 770, which is a newer model, or I guess a refresh model of the GTX 680, which I have from MSI, using the Twin Frozer Gaming Edition, Twin Frozer fan. So that will be a direct competitor, and I can't wait to sort of see how much result this will gain, or that will still have, with the newer AMD cards. So again, I'm William from AllTechTrail. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so, and I'll be seeing you in my next videos.